Greetings from the outskirts of Chai-ten. Now, before we get back into hitchhiking and making our way south on this cold, rainy Patagonian morning, I wanted to give you guys some information about the town of Chai-ten, the one that I'm currently in, because it's very, very interesting. So you can't see it right now, but somewhere beyond those clouds is Volcan Chai-ten, which is an active volcano that's still smoking. And it was either 2008 or 2009. It erupted and completely devastated this whole town. Now it doesn't really look like there was a giant volcanic eruption, but you can still see remnants. Like the streets are still covered in ash from an eruption that happened nearly 20 years ago. And I think the most interesting thing is I've been told that this river here was, like, the flow of the river was rerouted to properly carry the debris from the eruption down into the ocean more properly. And you can see all these burnt trees and stumps that is just essentially a graveyard of what happened nearly 20 years ago. But I thought it was very interesting. I want to walk through town and then also go check out the beach down here, because it gives you a better understanding of what happened to this place. So let's go check that out, and then we'll hit the road and make our way south. The volcano is, if I'm not mistaken, would be like right behind this mountain right here. It's not a very prominent or tall volcano, but clearly it did a lot of damage. Dude, this coast just keeps on going forever. If I remember my readings correctly, during the eruption, or during the fallout of it, the coastline or the beach was pushed back however many feet or meters or whatever. But I remember reading that somewhere, and it definitely makes sense, because this is a really, really long beach. Can y'all see that? There's a chopper in the sky. I don't know if that's a rescue chopper or what, but they're out here. Sur means south, and the goal is to go south. Literally anywhere south, I'll consider progress. We're almost at the outskirts of town. Just this bridge right up here is where I need to be. I'm very late as per usual. It's fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So the goal is to hopefully hitch a ride before 4 and before it starts raining. It's nice and kind of warm and sunny out right now. So hopefully we can hitch a ride in the next 2 hours. If not, then I'll see if I can grab a bus. If that's sold out, then I'll just post up here for the rest of the day. Adios, Chai-ten, and hello, deeper Patagonia. This is actually a perfect stretch of highway to hitchhike though, because not only are we on a bend so people go slower, but there's also a ton of space for people to pull over, which should make this seemingly a very easy hitchhike. I know you want to. 30 minutes in, no luck so far, but I did find a bus that's going a few hours south. So we have a plan B if I'm not able to catch a ride here in the next hour or so. Oh, fuck. This is demoralizing. I thought the quarter zip was going to increase my chances of catching a ride. Something a little more classy, high fashion, white boy summer. Shit's not working though. So still have time though before the bus leaves. So I'm hoping for like a fourth quarter clutch by some truck driver or something. The clock just struck 3:30. I'm taking the fucking bus. I'm not waiting out here anymore. We're nearing like day 10 of this challenge, and I've really not made that much distance. And if I want to actually complete this thing, I gotta start putting in longer days of like distance wise. So I'm just taking the bus. I can't afford to spend another day here. Made it to the bus station. All is good. It's leaving in about 20 minutes. So we have a guaranteed ride about 3 hours south, which is good. Having myself a little second lunch snack thing before the long bus ride. And then I'm gonna enjoy the new Beast Games episode on the bus, which is gonna be nice. W Eats. We finally reached town. I'm not even gonna fucking try and pronounce the name of this place because I'm just gonna butcher it, but funny enough, it's a German village out here in Patagonia that was populated after World War II. So if you guys know anything about World War II, the founders of this city was probably very close friends with the Austrian painter. Anyways, I am currently looking for a place to stealth camp just right outside of town here, and hopefully I can set up camp before it starts absolutely pouring rain again. So give me a second. I'm gonna look for a spot and then I'll update y'all. I'm thinking one of these little trails back here will be perfect. I just gotta find a spot that's relatively dry and, you know, kind of off the main footpaths, because I don't know what people are doing back here. But I'm thinking a good spot to set up camp for today would just be right here, because the ground is nearly dry, even though it's been pouring rain all day, because of just how thick the vegetation is here. So I think I'm gonna try and clear out all this brush and set up my tent just right back in here. No one will even notice. Okay, the sun is nearly about to set. I found a different campsite, just one that's a one that's a little bit longer to fit my tent, and it's not going to be the most comfortable sleep, but it's good so far. We have some tree coverings up here which should prevent some of the rain. My next goal before it gets dark here and or starts pouring rain, because I already can feel it coming, is to find some sticks and ferns and kind of just create like a more natural waterproofing on top. So I'm just going to break off some sticks and make this a little bit better so we can withstand the night more. All right, so this is a bad example of covering my tent with foliage, but I honestly, I don't have any tools to chop shit down. I'm just gonna forget about it. It's such thick foliage right here. Like I said, I honestly don't think, even if it starts pouring rain tonight, that this area will be that affected by it. The ground's a little bit muddy, but it's honestly not horrible. So I think I'm just gonna call it good at this and just hope that this will keep me at least dry enough to see the morning, and then I can decide, do I want to camp again or stay at a hostel. All right, the sun is slowly setting. It's still a little bit light outside, but I'm all set up campsite wise. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty fucking nervous on how tonight's gonna go. Not in the sense of getting caught. I really don't think anyone out here cares, and I'm out of the way, but I don't have a tarp to layer under the tent. I can already feel it getting slightly wet in here just from the moisture from the ground. I have this little mini kind of tarp thing that came with the tent, but it's too small, so I'm kind of just laying on it, and then I've layered my rain jacket and some cardboard underneath, so my head and upper body stays as dry as possible. And then down on this end, I laid my backpack so I can just put my feet on top of my backpack and kind of keep my feet and part of my lower body dry. But if it really starts dumping, I really don't know how this is going to hold up. But with that being said, I think it's time for a quick dinner. Welcome to a series I like to call Nellie's Kitchen. On tonight's menu for dinner, we have some San Jose canned tuna. Why? Because it's the only affordable thing that I could find in the grocery store. Yeah, there's no other explanation needed. a pack of tortillas. These are actually, if you want to save money while traveling and homeless maxing, get some tortillas, because this is my 4th meal, different type of meal that I've made with this pack of tortillas, which only costs like $2. So that's the method. And then I decided to get some hot sauce, because all these like bum meals I've been making need a little bit of flavor to it. So I got some hot sauce. They have this at like all the restaurants here, and it's really good. It tastes like sriracha. So I got that. So this is what we're cooking with tonight. Good morning, guys. I got really lucky last night. It rained for about 45 minutes, but nothing super strong, which is great. The inside of the tent was a little bit damp when waking up, but nothing like that bloke's backyard a couple of days ago. The trees really did help protect the main downpour of the rain. So let me pack up my tent, and then I want to show you like a live no cuts or edits of me walking out of here, because it felt like I was in the literal middle of the woods, as you can see here, but I'm literally like 2 minutes outside of town. So give me a second and I'll show you. Campsite is all packed up, and now I want to show you the walk back to town. No cuts or nothing. All right, because this really looked like proper backcountry camping, but just wait. So you walk through this like field here. Now I gotta make sure I actually remember how to get the fuck out of here. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, you walk through this field, and then you enter this little opening right here. Walk through. And then, oh my gosh, hold on. Did I lose something out of my bag? Fuck. Who cares? Okay, then you continue walking through this field here. Take a right turn. Walk. Take a left turn. Continue walking through this. And I'm just completely guessing right now. I don't know if this is the actual route I came. This is the general, yeah, okay. This is the general direction I took. And then you get back to this little, like, deer trail. And just like that, this road essentially just connects, like, some little neighborhood connected to this town, to the actual town over here. And it's just separated by this bridge. Yeah, we're back in town within what? How long was that? Yeah, 2 minutes. So let's go get some food and coffee. Okay, this town is completely dead, just like every other town out here, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. But as you can see here, there's just a German flag, German looking buildings and stuff out here. And we are in the middle of literal Patagonia. These stray dogs here are so fucking annoying. All they do is bark and fight. So I've made it to this nice little chill sitting area by the water. Absolutely beautiful, by the way. I have a bit of a complaint about this place, and that is there's nowhere fucking open, bro. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. There's one cafe that said they were open. I walk all the way there. They're closed. The other cafe in town doesn't open till 2 p.m. You need coffee in the morning, not in the fucking afternoon. I'm walking, trying to find another restaurant. Nowhere's open. They have all these pastry and like bread shops, right? I'm like, okay, I'll get myself like a nice pastry for breakfast or something. You walk inside and the entire store is literally deserted except for one tiny little bin filled with like the most basic bread of all time. And I'm just like, do you guys not eat breakfast here? Like, what the fuck is going on? There's nobody on the streets. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Because of that, I had my last resort was just like a corner shop that again had no like breakfast items. So my breakfast is Grand cereal cookie bar, whatever the hell this is, and a Agartha White Monster energy drink. Yo, you think I'm related to this bloke? Don Nelson. For those of you who don't know, my last name isn't actually Nelly, it's Nelson. And it's actually a very common name out here. Every time I tell someone my last name is Nelson, everyone like gawks and goes like, oh, whoa, really? So maybe I'm actually part Chilean, who knows? Back at my favorite bench, having a cheeky sandwich before I try and rent a kayak. The hostel I was at didn't let me cook in their kitchen until 5 p.m. for some reason, so I just got the cheapest eats I could find out here, which is like $6. Woo! We out here for real. Made it out on the kayak. I only did an hour-long rental because this shit is fucking tax. And I'm trying to do this on a bit of a budget, but I do want to see if I can, hold on, let me put this camera here so I can paddle while I'm talking to you. I do want to try and see if I can find any, there's like mini dolphins, they're called. Allegedly, you can find them out here. Contrary to what you might be thinking, this isn't actually a lake. This is a inlet. And if I continued paddling this way for days and weeks, I would eventually reach the open ocean. Look at the view. This is the town. This is the town I've been staying in. Just surrounded by mountains and in these like fjords or whatever. And it really makes you think, how the hell did the Germans even find out about this spot? I mean, allegedly the first round of German immigration here was in the early 1930s, and then the big second round arrived after World War II. Okay, let me paint a picture for you guys. Imagine you're a 1940s German, okay? You had just committed mass atrocities, and you're looking for a new life, an escape, so you don't have to face the international courts. So you set sail to a new continent in hopes of finding a new home. And by boat or land or mule or whatever it is that you travel with, car maybe, it was the 1940s, you search through the fjords, the inlets, the waterways of Patagonia, and search for a new home. And you come across this beautiful place with an already small German population who left prior to World War II. And this is where you end up settling. And till this day, what is it, 80 years later, there's still German families living here, descendants that were you-know-whats, or most likely you-know-whats, all this time ago. It's very, very interesting, and there's a lot of history behind these places. It really just makes you think, did the Austrian painter actually die, or did he end up in a place like this until his final days? Well, this was a nice hours-long little side quest, very peaceful. I have almost ran out of time, so I'm making my way back, and I think I'm making it back at the perfect time, because not only does the temperature feel like it's dropped, but the wind is starting to pick up, which means the afternoon rains are almost upon us. All right, fast forward a couple hours here from the kayaking excursion. Made myself some dinner. I'm traveling on like $30–40 a day max in a region of the world that's very expensive, so it's doable. If I can do it, you can do it too. I got some fresh bread from the bakery, some fresh eggs from the farm, I would assume, right out here, and some chili sauce. This meal cost me $1.75. The cheapest meal you can get here is like $6, so. It is currently 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning, And for whatever reason, the only fucking bus out of this town leaves at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think this guy is the culprit right here. I haven't posted, or I haven't really filmed much, like all of yesterday. I was honestly just, aside from the kayaking, I was just hanging out and editing a bunch of videos. But today we are en route to a very interesting region of Patagonia. The first mission is trying to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to wait for this bus to pick me up at, because I have no idea. After 5 hours, we have finally made it to Coyhaique. It is essentially the center of Chile and Patagonia. It is beautiful out here. It looks a lot like Colorado if I have to compare it to somewhere. That looked like a skinwalker dog if I've ever seen one. Tomorrow, I'm heading out to Cerro Castillo. But it's like one of the most underrated multi-day trekking parks in all of Patagonia, in my opinion. And that's the reason why I was so excited to come here. Why it's such an interesting area. So we're hopefully, if all goes according to plan, we will embark on that tomorrow morning.